Under the dazzling lights, I stood on the champion's podium with my teammates. My girlfriend, Emma, walked towards me holding a bouquet of flowers. She had said that once I won the championship, we would make our relationship public. Today, she came specifically to give me flowers, and she had specially bought roses, which symbolize love.
Congratulations on winning the match and taking the championship.
My eyes lit up, and I reached out to take them. But the bouquet brushed past my hand and was handed to my teammate, Jack, who was standing next to me. Jack, Emma's childhood friend. The smile froze on my face.
Here you go, Jack. You deserved this.
I looked at my girlfriend, who was smiling tenderly at Jack, stunned for a moment, then suddenly laughed at myself. It was Jack again. I should have known. This childhood friend who always held a more important place in Emma's heart than I, her official boyfriend. We had argued yesterday because of him. But I never expected that she would give Jack flowers in front of everyone today. Jack is an esports star with hundreds of thousands of fans. Doesn't she understand what this means? Putting the ring back in my pocket, I numbly watched the excitement in the venue caused by her giving flowers. The flashlights clicked incessantly. The awards ceremony wasn't even over, and the internet was already flooded with videos of the two of them showing affection. The combination of a handsome man and a beautiful woman attracted many fans. Jack's fans were calling Emma's sister-in-law under the videos, making a huge fuss. But all this excitement had nothing to do with me. I smiled bitterly as I stepped off the stage and returned to the locker room alone. Looking at the overwhelming blessings for the two of them on the trending topics, I suddenly felt it was all quite meaningless. I was tired and didn't want to play anymore. I sent Emma a message. Let's break up. I don't want to hold you back anymore. As soon as I sent the message, Emma called. I didn't answer, pressed the hang-up button, then took a taxi back to the rented apartment and started packing to leave. The apartment was rented by Emma and me together. Now that we had broken up, I didn't want to live with her anymore. I would leave it to her.
What do you mean by breaking up? I don't know what you're up to. A grown man, why are you more petty than a woman? All right, everyone says we should celebrate. Hurry up and come over, Jack and the others are waiting for you.
8 out of 10 of her sentences were about Jack. She gave roses to another man but blamed me for being petty. I didn't reply, just grabbed my things and left. With too little time to find a new place, I went back to the dormitory provided for professional players at the studio. Everyone had gone out for the celebration party today, so I was the only one in the dormitory. I habitually turned on the computer and immersed myself in the game. In the middle of the night, Emma called me. I glanced at it and hung up. She then sent me several messages in a row.
You didn't come home tonight? Where are you? I bought you flowers but couldn't find you. Didn't you say you wanted me to give you flowers?
So, those roses really weren't for me. I turned off my phone and let out a mocking laugh. She was always like this, standing me up and then giving me a sweet treat to appease me. In the past, I loved her, and even if she treated me this way, I would brainwash myself into thinking she loved me. But now, I don't want her anymore. No one is indispensable to anyone else, and that includes both Emma and me. After staying up all night playing games, I slept until 3 in the afternoon. When I woke up, I saw Emma sitting in my chair. I wasn't surprised that she knew I was here. Because besides the dormitory, I had nowhere else to go. Hearing the noise, she turned her head to look at me.
What happened to you yesterday? You didn't answer the phone or reply to messages. I thought something happened to you.
I went to bed early.
Emma was taken aback, her brows furrowing tightly. She looked at me strangely.
What's wrong with you? Why are you so quiet today?
Indeed. In the past, if I saw her coming to find me, I would have been overjoyed, eagerly sharing my recent life with her. But now, I was silent except for silence. And she seemed to have forgotten what I said yesterday. She also conveniently forgot about embarrassing me in public. Before I could speak, she continued.
Today is Jack's 3rd anniversary of joining the team. He's treating us to dinner. Let's go together.
I originally wanted to find an excuse not to go. But as a teammate, if I didn't go, it would be easy for people to gossip. Besides, I wanted to take the opportunity to publicly clarify that Emma and I had broken up. I nodded, got up to wash, changed my clothes, and went to the hotel with her. When we arrived, I realized it wasn't just some friends. There was also a large group of Jack's fans. Rather than saying it was a 3-year anniversary dinner organized by Jack, it was more like a fan meeting. Before I even went in, I heard the noisy sounds coming from inside. I instinctively turned to look at Emma. But the person standing next to me had already disappeared.
Are you looking for Emma? Come with me.
Emma's best friend Lily appeared out of nowhere and led me straight to the dining room on the 2nd floor. Looking down, I saw the missing Emma. On the stage, Emma was pushing a big cake, holding a string of pink and white balloons to surprise Jack. Below, fans were screaming, shouting for the two to get married on the spot, calling Emma sister-in-law. The noise was deafening.
Don't you think they look good together?
My throat felt bitter. They do look good together. Emma had never put so much effort into anything for me. Even on my birthday, when I asked her for a cake, she would impatiently say that adults don't need such superficial ceremonies. But now, she gave Jack such a big surprise in front of fans and friends.
Emma, you prepared a surprise for Jack, but your boyfriend was watching the whole time. Be careful he doesn't get jealous.
Emma's body stiffened suddenly. She looked up at me, a hint of apology in her eyes.
Next time, on your birthday or anniversary, I'll prepare an identical surprise for you.
No need. If it's identical, how is it a surprise? I'm not that desperate to want something given to someone else.
Emma pursed her lips, wanting to say something. Before she could speak, Jack chimed in.
Ethan, you can't be mad, right? Emma was just cooperating with me for promotion. Don't be so petty. As her boyfriend, you should be more considerate of her. Don't always make her guess your thoughts to appease you, it will tire her out.
I chuckled.
With you thinking of her, who else is needed?
My words, laced with sarcasm, made the room fall silent. Jack sighed, smiling helplessly.
All right, you're really mad. I'll apologize to you, don't blame Emma.
The atmosphere was awkward, and someone quickly tried to smooth things over.
We're all on the same team. Why say such distant words? Come on, let's drink.
Lily squeezed over, smiling.
Is it just because of today? Yesterday, Emma also gave Jack flowers.
She finished, looking at me with a grin.
Right?
Hearing this, Emma's frown slightly eased.
You're upset over such a small thing? I also bought flowers for you yesterday, but you left before I could give them to you. However, I brought them.
She walked to a corner of the private room, taking a small bouquet of lisianthus from a beer carton. As soon as she took it out, someone snickered. The reason was obvious. The bouquet of lisianthus was small, cheap, and looked shabby compared to the large, vibrant bouquet of red roses she gave Jack.
Emma, you should have given Ethan roses. Why this kind of flower?
After dinner yesterday, it was late, and there were no roses left. This flower will do. He doesn't understand flowers, he won't mind.
The best for Jack, and just will do for me. It turns out love and indifference are really obvious. But why did she think I wouldn't mind? She handed the flowers to me, but I didn't take them.
You don't want the flowers? I bought them especially for you.
No need, give them to someone else.
What's wrong with you now?
I'm not making a fuss, I'm serious. I have something to do, I won't disturb you all, I'm leaving.
I opened the private room door and walked out. I hadn't gone far when I heard people behind me talking.
Ethan is making a big deal out of nothing.
Jack and Emma's video went viral. Our studio received a lot of sponsorships. Isn't that a good thing? Why be so petty?
Exactly.
He can do whatever he wants, don't bother with him.
The harsh words reached my ears, and I paused. A sudden wave of sadness washed over me. So, I was that unimportant to her. After returning to the dormitory alone, I made a cup of instant noodles and, as usual, started the game. It wasn't until my eyes felt sore that I turned off the computer to wash up. My phone rang with a special notification sound. I opened the social media app and saw a post Jack had just made.
Having you is wonderful. The hangover soup you made is the best drink in the world.
The picture was of Emma wearing an apron, busy in the kitchen. The white light cast a harmonious and gentle glow on her. So Emma could cook, just not for me. I smiled bitterly and commented,
Your girlfriend is really good to you, wish you both happiness.
After exiting the post, I blocked and deleted both Jack and Emma. Soon, I received a call from an unknown number. It was Emma.
Ethan, what do you mean by that comment you posted? Do you have to make everyone unhappy? Apologize to Jack immediately, or don't expect to see me these days.
Don't worry, I won't bother you anymore.
I hung up the phone and spent the next few days holed up in the dormitory playing games. After blocking Emma, I seemed to have gotten used to life without her. But unexpectedly, on the day of the team meeting, I ran into her again. At the entrance of the meeting room. Emma was wearing a white-fitted long dress, her waist-length black hair cascading like a waterfall, and her pretty face carrying a hint of coldness. Passing teammates glanced at her and greeted her with smiles. To be fair, Emma was very beautiful. The first time I saw her, I was attracted to her. At that time, she was also coming to the studio to find someone. Thinking back, wasn't she just looking for Jack? I sneered and walked past her straight into the meeting room. Emma's expression stiffened, and she followed me into the meeting room.
Ethan, how long are you going to give me the cold shoulder? You haven't been home these days, and you blocked me. What exactly do you want?
In the meeting room, Jack and a few other teammates were already seated, all casting curious glances our way. I glanced at them and finally said what I hadn't managed to say that day.
Emma, we broke up.
Emma's expression froze, looking at me in disbelief.
Are you serious? Why? Just because fans ship me and Jack? Ethan, since when did you become so unreasonable? You know those are just rumors online. Jack and I are just friends, we're completely innocent. Can't you stop making assumptions about others?
As she finished speaking, Jack's face changed, looking at me with jealousy in his eyes. But it didn't matter, I no longer cared.
You see, you'll never realize where your problem lies.
Then tell me, what's my problem? Isn't it because you're too petty?
I didn't answer. Seeing the boss and other teammates coming in, I casually found a seat. Emma wanted to say more, but seeing the boss and other teammates coming in, she reluctantly left, planning to argue with me later. In the meeting room, the boss especially praised Jack.
The video of Jack and Emma creating a buzz has greatly boosted the studio's economic benefits.
After a pause, he mentioned adjusting the positions of the team members. Facing his subtle gaze and Jack's occasional provocative looks, I had a bad feeling.
Ethan, you've worked hard these past 2 years, so to let you rest well, we've decided you don't need to prepare for competitions for now. The jungle position will be handed over to Jack, and he will lead the team as captain to continue winning matches. But don't worry, you're our veteran employee, and I won't treat you unfairly. For now, you can help out in the logistics department.
Asking a court jungler to retire and cook meals. How is this different from discarding someone after they've outlived their usefulness? I laughed in anger.
No need, boss. I joined the team to compete. If I can't compete, I'd rather leave the team.
Ignoring the boss's unpleasant expression, I stood up and walked out. Emma, waiting outside, looked puzzled when she saw me. Just as she was about to ask, Jack, who had followed me out, said,
Ethan, why don't you beg me? Maybe I can persuade the boss to let you stay.
He briefly told Emma what had happened in the meeting room. Emma frowned and looked at me disapprovingly.
Ethan, don't be impulsive. Where can you go if you leave the studio? Why don't you apologize to Jack? Isn't it good not to prepare for competitions? You'll have more time to spend with me.
Don't even think about it.
As soon as I finished speaking, suddenly, an out-of-control car rushed towards me. At the critical moment, Emma quickly pushed Jack away.
Jack, watch out!
I didn't have time to dodge and was thrown several meters by the car. Pain surged through me, my organs felt like they were bursting, and my eyelids grew heavy.
Ethan!
Before losing consciousness, I saw Emma shouting my name, her face pale as she stumbled towards me. I thought I was done for. But unexpectedly, I woke up in a hospital. Emma was sitting by my bed, and when she heard movement, she turned to look at me.
You're awake. You almost scared me to death, you know? You were in a coma for 6 days. Didn't you know to dodge when the car came? How can you still be so clumsy?
She muttered, trying to help me up. I avoided her hand. Emma was stunned.
Are you mad at me?
She explained.
Sorry, it was an emergency. I didn't mean not to save you, it was just instinct.
Suddenly, she closed her mouth, her eyes looking at me in panic. I didn't mind at all and calmly responded.
I know, you instinctively pushed him away, no need to explain to me.
It was instinct because Jack was more important than me. I understood. If it were before, I would have been heartbroken. But now, I felt nothing. Emma, like a child who had done something wrong, wanted to explain to me. But before she could speak, her phone rang. She glanced at me, hesitated, but answered the call.
Emma, where are you?
My hand hurts so much. Is it the after effect of the fall from the car accident?
Can I still compete in the future? Emma, can you come and keep me company? I'm afraid I won't be able to compete anymore.
It was just a fall, but he spoke as if he were on the brink of death. Anyone who didn't know would think he was the one in the car accident. But Emma's face immediately showed a hint of anxiety. She didn't agree right away, instead, she looked at me with difficulty.
You should go, I can manage on my own.
Emma looked relieved. She hung up the phone and looked at me apologetically.
I'm sorry, I want to stay with you. But Jack's emotions are very unstable right now. He hurt his hand that day, and he's been in a bad mood. I'm afraid something might happen to him. Don't worry, I'll come to the hospital to take care of you as soon as I check on him. If you need anything, just call the nurse, okay?
With that, she grabbed her bag and ran out. I smiled faintly. I knew she wouldn't come back once she left. It wasn't the first time she had abandoned me for Jack. Last year on my birthday, she left me alone on a raining mountain to deliver an umbrella to Jack. I got lost and nearly suffered from hypothermia. If it hadn't been for some hikers who rescued me, I might have died. As my thoughts returned, a nurse walked in with a tray and saw the empty room.
Where are your family members? Is no one here to take care of you? Don't they know your car accident was serious?
I don't have any family. I'm an orphan.
The nurse's eyes widened.
Then, wasn't the person taking care of you a few days ago your girlfriend?
No, we broke up a week ago.
The young nurse looked embarrassed, unsure how to change the subject. Suddenly, my phone vibrated. She sighed in relief and quickly answered it for me.
Take the call first.
However, as soon as the call connected, my boss's furious voice came through.
Ethan, find a time to pack up your things and leave. Your hand is useless now. What good are you? I'm officially notifying you. You're fired from the studio.
The call made the nurse's face even more awkward. Strangely, she also looked a bit sympathetic and expectant. I didn't notice her unusual behavior, my mind was a mess, and my tone became low.
Will I really never be able to compete again?
Of course not. Your hand has a severe fracture, but it's not that bad. You'll definitely be able to play professionally again.
Ha! I laughed self-deprecatingly. I didn't believe her comforting words. If it wasn't that serious, why would my boss kick me out without any regard for face? Turns out I really had become useless. As I wallowed in self-pity, the young nurse suddenly grabbed my shoulder, her eyes bright.
Ethan, if they don't want you, I do. Can you join my team?
I looked in surprise at the nurse in front of me, her eyes sparkling.
Don't joke around. My hand is ruined. How could I join any team?
It's true.
The nurse anxiously pulled down her mask, revealing a pretty face.
Look, this is the team I just formed. We just need a jungler. Ethan, I've been your fan for a long time. Please take a look at us. Our team really needs you.
She took out her phone, showing me the studio and the team. YJ team, fully funded by Sophia.
You really formed a team? And the name Sophia sounds familiar. Isn't she the daughter of the real estate tycoon Robert? Is your father Robert?
Yes, that's my father.
Then why are you, a proper heiress, forming a team and pretending to be a nurse?
Sophia scratched her head.
I'm not really a nurse, I borrowed the uniform. I heard you had an accident, so I came to see you, but I was afraid you'd think it was presumptuous. And I formed the team because of you. I like you, that's why I entered this industry. Ethan, join YJ, I want to build a team just for you. You'll be the second in command of our studio.
She smiled and extended her hand to me. It was the first time someone had boldly and passionately told me they liked me. It was also the first time someone had firmly chosen me. A surge of emotion stirred within me.
But my hand, I might not be able to use the keyboard.
So what? I'll find the best medical team for you. Even if you can't play anymore, you can still coach the others in our studio.
What seemed like the end of the world to me, she turned into a trivial matter with a few words. I couldn't help but smile, and with difficulty, extended my other hand.
All right, I'll join you.
Yay!
Sophia hugged my hand and smiled like a little girl whose dream had come true. Suddenly, the door to the ward was pushed open with a bang.
What are you doing?
Emma stormed in, glaring at us angrily. Her eyes were red, as if I had wronged her.
Who are you?
She gritted her teeth at Sophia, looking like she wanted to tear her apart. Sophia let go of my hand, looked at her and Jack behind her, and said with a mischievous smile,
Whatever your relationship is with him, that's what I have with Ethan. None of your business.
She winked playfully at me and left the ward. I smiled helplessly, knowing she was standing up for me.
Just wait, I'll report you.
She slammed the door shut and turned to me.
Ethan, who was that woman?
A friend.
Compared to her anger, I was incredibly calm. Emma wanted to say something, but I closed my eyes, ignoring her. After a moment, the sound of sobbing filled the room.
Ethan, are you leaving me?
I opened my eyes in surprise, looking at Emma's tear-stained face.
Why are you crying? Isn't this what you wanted to see?
Instantly, Emma cried even harder. Jack, burning with anger, rushed over to grab me.
Ethan, are you even a man? How dare you upset Emma?
I don't need you to interfere, don't touch him, he's seriously hurt.
Jack's veins bulged with rage.
Emma, he cheated on you. Why are you still defending him? Why are you being so humble? You should kick him out right now.
Shut up! The matters between Ethan and me are none of your business. Get out! Get out!
She shoved Jack out the door. I was even more surprised. She actually turned against Jack for me. This had never happened before. After driving Jack away, Emma sat by my bed and whispered,
Ethan, whether you believe it or not, the person I like has always been you. It's not what you think between Jack and me.
I closed my eyes and didn't answer. Emma looked at me sadly, her tears falling onto the bed. She always thought I was just throwing a tantrum. As long as she coaxed me, we could go back to the way things were. Until the day I was discharged from the hospital, I chose to leave with Sophia. Only then did she realize I was serious. At first, Emma called and texted me every day from different unknown numbers. After I set my phone to block unknown numbers, it was quiet for a while. Later, she somehow found out where my studio was. She waited for me downstairs every day, either bringing me food or flowers. I didn't accept any of it. Even my colleagues at the studio couldn't stand it.
Ethan, the one chasing you is a real beauty. You really don't know how to appreciate it.
Besides, isn't she Jack's girlfriend? Why is she pestering you?
Exactly. Last time your team won the championship, I saw her go on stage to give Jack flowers. Now she's chasing you? Did Emma change her mind?
Everyone had a gossipy look on their faces. I was slightly stunned and looked a bit uncomfortable. In the eyes of outsiders, Emma and Jack were a couple. Now with Emma doing this, it seemed like I was the one interfering in their relationship. Sophia stopped their gossip in time and asked me softly,
Do you want to go out and see?
I thought for a moment and shook my head.
No need.
A proper ex should be as good as dead. There's no need to make our relationship public and let others laugh at us. It's meaningless. I ignored Emma, who came to see me every day, and focused on my rehabilitation with the doctor. 6 months later, my hand had recovered surprisingly well. Just in time for a professional league at the end of the year, I announced on my social media that I would be representing JY in the competition. For a while, there was a lot of talk online. JY was just a new team. They couldn't even qualify for the league on their own. Now they made it to the finals, all thanks to me. Jack and Lily never expected that the team I led, which was considered insignificant, could become their final competitor. Jack felt a sense of crisis. He knew my skills in the jungle role. Just a week before the competition, a batch of negative information about me suddenly exploded online. A heavily edited video was widely shared by marketing accounts, spreading across various platforms, titled Emma's Devoted Admirer. In the meantime, Emma sent me a few messages.
What do you mean by breaking up? I don't know what you're up to. A grown man, why are you more petty than a woman? All right, everyone says we should celebrate. Hurry up and come over, Jack and the others are waiting for you.
8 out of 10 of her sentences were about Jack. She gave roses to another man but blamed me for being petty. I didn't reply, just grabbed my things and left. With too little time to find a new place, I went back to the dormitory provided for professional players at the studio. Everyone had gone out for the celebration party today, so I was the only one in the dormitory. I habitually turned on the computer and immersed myself in the game. Without looking, I knew it was from Sophia. She always stood by me first when others doubted me, speaking up for me. My eyes felt a bit sore, and I was touched. As expected, the official account of JY was filled with insults and ridicule.
Don't worry about them, Ethan. You're better than all this negativity.
They said JY was a small workshop, not worthy of being compared to Jack. They also said I had fallen to the point of teaming up with newcomers, saying I deserved it for daring to compete with Jack. They even called me a toad wanting to eat swan meat. But unexpectedly, just when the public opinion was most unfavorable to us, Emma suddenly started a live broadcast.
I only see Jack as a brother. Ethan is my boyfriend. We have been dating for several years, and I ask the netizens not to misunderstand. I apologize to Ethan and everyone else for any confusion.
This reversal left Jack's fans dumbfounded. The fans who had been insulting me all went to Emma's live broadcast to question her.
If you are Ethan's girlfriend, then why did you give flowers to Jack on the night of the league victory?
Giving flowers to Jack was to cooperate with the hype. I know I was terribly wrong, so heaven punished me by making me lose the boyfriend who loved me the most. I'm sorry, everyone, and I'm sorry, Ethan.
Emma's admission of hyping the relationship, even with an apology, was not accepted by fans who liked esports and their supposed relationship. The online opinion completely reversed. Emma and Jack were scolded harshly by netizens and esports fans. And Jack's previous accidental like on a post calling me a sycophant also seemed extremely ridiculous. Jack urgently went online to cancel the accidental like. But even so, the netizens did not let him off.
Emma, you are inconsiderate, having a boyfriend yet still giving flowers and surprises to Jack. Jack, you're despicable, trying to attract someone else's girlfriend for attention.
A large number of netizens also went to my account to express their sympathy for me having been deceived for so long. I ignored these people's changing attitudes. I just reposted JY's supportive post for me and responded to Emma's live broadcast.
We were once a couple, but we broke up long ago. From now on, we will go our separate ways and not disturb each other.
I heard that Emma cried in her live broadcast after seeing my response. I smiled, feeling no emotion inside. On the day of the competition, I saw Jack in the waiting area. He looked sinister, his eyes full of resentment and hatred when he looked at me. Even the previous studio owner looked at me with a fierce expression.
Oh. It turned out that the hype backfired, and all their partners terminated their contracts, requiring them to pay a large amount of penalty fees. Now they were in a bad mood, waiting to defeat the JY team I led to make a comeback. Hey, how could I give them that chance?
In the finals, I coordinated seamlessly with my newly formed teammates who all followed my commands, and we smoothly won the match. Unlike Jack's team, who were arguing both on and off the field. Holding the championship cup on the podium, I saw Emma again.
Ethan, congratulations on winning the championship.
She handed me the flowers, and Jack, standing a step below me, looked at me with jealousy in his eyes. Yes, we did it! I smiled, holding the flowers and Sophia together in my arms, announcing to everyone that she was my girlfriend. Fireworks and advertisement screens lit up for me across the city, and I became the first domestic gold medal jungler. This was a surprise from Sophia. Netizens went crazy over our couple. They named our couple Yulu together, saying that real couples are always better than fake love. Immediately, countless sponsors approached us for collaborations, and JY became famous overnight. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Emma looking at us in despair, holding roses and leaving in loneliness. We gained both fame and fortune, and Jack and the former studio boss became outcasts, despised by everyone. Of course, I didn't let the former boss off the hook. I released the recording of him forcing me to work in the kitchen and abandoning me after my accident, making him face public condemnation. Sophia, to vent her anger for me, generously acquired the former studio and kicked out Jack and the former boss. Their entire studio became JY's cafeteria, surviving only on JY's charity. Sophia even declared that anyone who dared to take in Jack and the others would be going against the Jung group. From then on, The title of the #1 esports studio in the country changed hands, and Jack and the others disappeared from the scene. With Sophia and me working seamlessly together, we won championship after championship and recruited a batch of talented individuals. On the podium after winning an international league championship, I proposed to Sophia. The silly girl cried and hugged me, saying she had fulfilled her wish, that she had found a pearl, and she was willing to marry me. She was wrong. She was the pearl that illuminated my life. She was the unique treasure in this world. How lucky I was to meet someone like Sophia, who was wholeheartedly devoted to me. Without her, there would be no successful Ethan today. After marriage, Sophia and I had a lovely daughter named Only. Only Ethan. Ethan is Sophia's only, and Sophia is Ethan's forever. On our daughter's first birthday, I saw Emma, whom I hadn't seen in a long time. She came with a bouquet of fresh eustomas and a small gift box to offer her blessings. At that moment, I was holding my daughter, talking to Sophia. The sight of our happy family pained Emma's eyes.
Ethan, if I hadn't gotten so close to Jack back then, would this happiness be mine now? Would we also have a cute baby?
Emma, there are no ifs in this world. Besides, I don't like eustomas, I only like mermaid princesses.
Emma looked at me with a shattered expression, finally giving a silent smile, putting down the things, and leaving. Before she left, she told me that Jack had been arrested for theft. During the police interrogation, it was discovered that he knew the driver who hit me. Upon further investigation, it was revealed that my accident was not a coincidence but a setup. Jack had a fan deliberately hit me with a car, intending to ruin me. He had always been jealous of my jungling skills and that Emma was my girlfriend, so he plotted against me. For intentional harm, he would probably spend the rest of his life in prison. I felt no emotion inside. He deserved it. Taking the wrong path always comes with a price. If I hadn't been lucky back then, I might have ended up disabled. Fortunately, everything turned out well. I have a bright future and a happy family. Heaven has favored me, and I love my wife and daughter. For the rest of my life, I will lead JY and my wife and daughter towards a bright future.